What if your connection to the spirit world was closer than you think? What if your unique way of seeing the world is the key to connecting the two worlds? Welcome to a Sanctuary for the Soul podcast. Join us as we delve into the heart of spiritual development, from the practical guidance and mediumship to the best way to live a heart-based life.
We are here to facilitate healing, awaken your intuition, and help you navigate your path with confidence. Speaking from our own deep journeys, we've learned to experience the world and the spirit world with a unique sensitivity. This is our space to share that perspective with you. Let's explore the connection together. Welcome back. And today we've decided to explore the nature of sensitivity.
Yep. Happy Sunday, Liz.
Happy Sunday, Andy. How's your week been?
Busy. It's always busy-ish, except when it's not busy.
Yeah.
It's what we're going to talk about?
So sensitivity.
Oh, going
How
deep.
does that, yeah, it is. So how does sensitivity show up for you?
I guess sometimes it can show up in a feeling of, personally, sometimes I want to withdraw away from people. Not because I'm not liking them, but I just feel a sense of needing space, kind of like emotional and literal space from people. Sometimes situations and just life can feel very, very overwhelming. I think in some situations, and I think it's all right. And it's kind of trying to understand that that's not a bad thing. It's just recognizing how you feel on a daily basis, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. And when you're thinking about sensitivity,
Yep.
how would you describe that? So both of us are sensitive,
Yeah.
but that could be understood in so many different ways. How would you describe being sensitive?
I think it depends on the context. So if you said, how is it to be sensitive in a large group of people? I would say it's overwhelming to be sensitive energetically, or that sense that I feel I operate best in some ways when I'm given the opportunity to have space. But if you said to me what is sensitivity in relation to the work you do with people, then it's about developing a closeness of emotional or spiritual awareness, especially working as a medium, or if we're doing healing, then you use that sensitivity almost as a means of connection. So rather than looking to find distance, I look to find closeness. So I guess we have to judge what it is to be sensitive according to what our need is at the time, and what is needed from us. Because if we had the hide of a rhino and we had to be sensitive to someone, then you could say, well, you're being protected in one way, but you're not really fully being aware in another.
Yeah.
Well, how about yourself? Does that make sense, Liz?
Yeah. I think when you said about that needing that space,
Yeah.
I really resonated with that, because I really love spending time with people, and I really love my work, which involves being, with people all the time. But I think my sensitivity shows up in a way of feeling. And, that can be feeling a sense of what others are going through, their emotional expression. It can be just a feeling in the environment of picking up on different energies. And then, of course, it's my own response and reaction to whatever I'm perceiving in others or in the environment. And that need for space is so important to recenter and stay with my own feeling and who I am and not get lost in what I'm perceiving in others. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. I think sometimes, unless you're experiencing it, it can
Mm,
be difficult sometimes to qualify how you're feeling in a way that others will understand. But I certainly know that we have to be mindful of the use of our energy, the use of our
yeah,
time, the use of our awareness, and the use of our sensitivity. Because um, when you're, I think, as a medium, and certainly as a energy practitioner from your perspective, but obviously you'll give your perspective. Um, I would say that the management of your time and that self awareness, that should always be, at the back of your mind as something to bear in mind. So if you think to yourself, well, I've got, a really busy 3, 4, or even 5 days coming up,
yeah,
and it's going to be taxing, which isn't a bad thing, because it's how we build up resistance and endurance. But if you know you've got a really busy 4 or 5 days coming up, then if someone says to you, "Oh, I don't suppose you can fit me in for a healing on, Monday and Wednesday and Friday," you should have that awareness to say, well, actually, this week won't be a good time for me to do that. However,
mm,
we can schedule you in at a different time, because we can, I think sometimes we can be really caught up in the needs of the client, what they want, what they need. And
mm.
there's that desire to fulfill, their wishes. But then, ask yourself that question.
Mm,
Do I have the resources to be operating to the best of my ability within reason?
yeah.
Or am I going to be kind of letting that battery really start to lose
Mm.
some of its oomph?
And
Uh,
I think that's when the sensitivity can become a challenge because there's a loss of um, energy and self awareness, and those lines of what's me and what's you starts to get blurred, and then it impacts our ability to work efficiently and from a place of real awareness. So I think that, but also it's that immersion in, nature as well. I think when you have a sensitivity of going back to something that's completely natural and unspoilt, I think that really helps rather than continually, working, fitting people in, attending this, going to that. It's actually allowing that space so that you can do the best job you can.
yeah, I think kind of what you're describing in a way seems to be like, doing an activity that is grounding,
Mm,
that is
mm,
allowing you to be present, but not to have to immerse yourself in any particular task,
mm,
other than that appreciation, even at this time of year. And obviously, we're very close to December now.
mm,
Even if you're saying to yourself, well, isn't it wonderful how the trees, even with no leaves, still have that sense of beauty, and you understand the nature of change, and the way in which maybe nature's giving you a message.
mm,
It goes through cycles of growth, and rest and recuperation and potential. And I guess that must be represented in what it is to be human and
mm,
to be a practitioner. So find that moment of growth, find the moments of reevaluating what you're doing,
mm.
find those moments of rest, and then the time of, real positive growth. So
Yeah.
almost like those 4 seasons, they can be part of your life and the way that you approach what you do.
Mm. Yeah. And that's a really good metaphor for, I think, being sensitive, is knowing that there has to be those constant fluctuations between seasons
Yeah,
throughout your day, your week, so that that sensitivity is a strength, not a weakness, where, yeah, we become so engulfed in, all the feelings and the experiences. So yeah, living through the seasons, I think, is
yeah.
important. Yeah.
Kind of have that. Just maybe as
Yeah.
part of your mindset. And sometimes, if there's a particular experience that we're going through, we can
Mm.
be um, we can be hyper focused on the real minutiae of the detail. And then if
Yes.
we sometimes allow ourselves
Yeah.
to like metaphorically take a step back
Mm.
and to try and view it with greater clarity by giving it some perspective.
Yes.
And then, you kind
Mm.
of think to yourself there, actually, it isn't really the big deal that it feels right in the moment. Because when you're
Yeah.
sensitive, sometimes your reaction can be more immediate. It doesn't gradually come up, and you
Yeah.
gradually get maybe annoyed or angry or
Mm.
hurt or resentful or whatever.
Mm.
It can just be, it's not there. Now it's really intense.
Yeah.
And now it's not there. And then it's really intense again. There is no,
Yeah.
sometimes it feels like there's no middle ground.
Yeah. Well, we often talk about this, don't we? For
Mm,
both of us.
yeah, yeah.
Y we feel things intensely in
Yeah.
the moment,
Mm,
here and now.
yeah.
And, a and that's another good point, and we talk about community, but I think when you are around other people who are sensitive and they understand, I think it's quite a relief, that, yeah, when you're highly sensitive, you feel it intensely in
Yeah.
the moment.
And I think having people to speak to and
Mm.
to talk to and to kind of say, do you get really annoyed by people sometimes? And you go, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All the time. Yeah. I mean, when
Yeah.
don't I, get annoyed at times? But I think going forward, when we start meeting in not very many days now, our
Mm.
first
Right.
Sunday sanctuary, the idea is that it's just going to be a place for people to meet for like 45 minutes
Mm.
on a Sunday evening, half
Mm.
6 till 7:15.
Mm.
So you can hopefully find that 3/4 of an hour. And it's going to be an opportunity for us maybe to share, not maybe, we will share, some tips and some
Mm.
little techniques. Maybe just have a short meditation,
Yeah.
maybe take some questions from people, answer people's, queries, and start to create that, sense of come and be with people like you.
Mm.
And, we know that ideas and, the future will develop in a very kind of organic way.
Yeah.
And but what do you kind of think? What's going to be our wish or our aim when we start meeting on those Sundays?
I I think to build community and to explore some of these things, but also bring in those ideas of what can help or
Hmm.
how to use that sensitivity, like you were saying, really. Um, because it can be, people talk about sensitivity being a superpower, don't they? I mean, which superhero would you be with your sensitivity?
Which superhero would I be?
Yeah.
What sort of
with
question?
your sensitivity?
What sort of question is that?
I just thought of it and I thought that was a brilliant
Well,
question.
well, being as one of my archetypes is the hermit, my superpower would be withdrawing into a cave far up a mountain away from people.
See?
No? Is that not one? Right, let me look at the list again. Right, what else
Yeah.
have we got? No, we don't want to mention that
We
one.
want some sort of really exciting superhero.
Oh, the hedonist. Excited. Oh, no. I don't want to be an exciting superhero. That sounds like a bit of a. That sounds like
A lot of work.
a lot of work, a lot of pressure. I don't want to have to be exciting. Can I be like a superhero that likes books? Can
Definitely.
that be my power?
So the superhero of knowledge. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I
And
like that.
wisdom.
Much wisdom. Much wisdom. Yes,
Yes.
exactly. Um,
Yeah.
so super book reader bloke.
So, but people do say, don't they, that as you take care of yourself and your sensitivity, it is something that can be really enjoyed. And I think during those Sundays, I'd like to think that we bring that knowing to people that actually having sensitivity and looking at some of these things or developing the connection to your heart or to your guides if you wish,
Mm.
it is something really beautiful and really enjoyable about having sensitivity.
Yeah, it's not something to be looked down upon. I mean, society, and I don't want to get on a soapbox, but society has historically had quite a um, maybe a mixed view of what it is to be sensitive. If someone showed their emotions, they say, "Oh, don't worry, yeah, he's just a sensitive
Mm.
boy." As if there's something like fundamentally wrong with you.
Yeah.
But like in fairness, I have to give credit to my parents. I remember when my grandfather passed, and that was the first funeral I ever went to. And so, how old was I? I mean, I think I was about 17 or 18. So, I wasn't a child, but I found, I remember looking down at his coffin in the ground and
Mm.
feeling such an intense feeling of obviously emotion. I'd
Yes.
never seen that before. And the instinct was to withdraw and to
Yes.
not show how I felt. And I remember my mother saying, "Don't worry, son, a real man shows his feelings." Do you know what?
Beautiful.
And I never forgot her saying that.
That
Never.
is
I
beautiful.
know, and it makes me feel a bit emotional thinking about it. But
Well done to her. That's
yeah,
just,
and
yeah.
and so then I've never. I probably didn't necessarily hold it back at even up to them, but I would say that I became more
Mm.
comfortable in acknowledging how I felt and thinking, well, it's just me. It's how I am. So yeah.
That that is a really valid point as well about
Mm,
sensitivity is because we do, often describe feeling things so powerfully in the
mm,
moment.
yeah,
I think there's a lot to be said for knowing that it's actually a really good thing to allow the emotions to be felt, to be
yeah,
processed, with that awareness of gentleness and kindness,
yeah,
because once they're felt, once they're processed, then they're not going to impact every thought and feeling for the rest of the day and in the same way because energy emotions are energy that
yeah,
wants to move and yeah it can be felt like you say in a really strong way
mm,
but allowing it allows it to move and then our ability to sort of regain that equilibrium is easier than it sort of sitting there.
yeah. No, it does make sense, but you see, if you grow up in an environment whereby
Mm.
you know, girls are sensitive, boys aren't sensitive, because
Yeah.
that's kind of how it is, and you think, well, you kind of know in the misguided way that they mean it, They say, oh, don't worry about her. She's just really sensitive because she's a girl. But, if you then feel really sensitive to
Yes.
emotions and you're not a girl, so what does that
Yeah.
mean? Does that mean there's something not quite right with me? Does it mean that, I need to somehow just kind of maintain that stiff upper lip and you
Mm.
just suppress it? Now, we know, obviously, as time goes on, suppressed emotions will find a
Yes.
means of expressing themselves in some way, whether
Yes.
whether that's through addictive or controlling or abusive behavior. They will find
Yes.
a way of expressing themselves. So
Mm.
I think to then say to people, let's just keep a lid on all of that, is like saying, let's just store up the problem for another day.
Exactly.
And why would we say that? So
Mm.
I think one of the benefits of having had many conversations with yourself is that sense of facing up to something that we may find vulnerable in
Yes.
our personality or in our behavior is a means of removing the lid from all of the things that we kind of store inside us, and to kind of give it a way of expressing itself by talking and by understanding and by thinking about how we think about stuff.
Yeah.
And so, yeah,
Processing it with somebody else
you know,
is a really lovely thing to do and
so
normalizes it.
exactly. So if we're, offering a space to people, and, this will happen in our classes, it will happen
Mm.
at the retreats, it will happen wherever we do this work,
Mm.
because it's a fundamental part of us that we need, whoever watches these podcasts or whoever listens, is that we're not trying to change you. What we're trying
No.
to do is to help you and help us understand you, what your needs are, and how can we take you forward just a little bit?
Mm.
Not make you in the image of us, but how can we take you forward? Maybe that means accepting the weird and the wonderful about you.
Mm.
Maybe you say, oh, I'm crying again. And we go, well, how's that a bad thing? They go,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, but people say I grow really easily or something. And well, so do I. I've only got
Mm.
to see like an advert about, like donkeys collecting water in a country, and then
Yeah.
and and then
Yeah.
suddenly you want to give away all your money to a donkey sanctuary in Sudan or somewhere.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
do you see what I mean? Because your empathy, your ability to connect in and at an emotional level with people with genuine compassion,
Mm.
that is a bigger strength than anyone ever tells you.
Yeah. And compassion as well, with sensitivity
Mm.
is a really beautiful thing when we are centered and
Yeah,
we have that awareness of how much to give. I know that's been one of my life lessons and continues, that
yeah,
even though we are sensitive and we have that compassionate awareness and we want to be supportive and the best we can be, there's a real value in being centered in our own energy awareness and knowing what's okay as well for us
yeah.
to give.
And I think one of the things is having the expertise, even as an academic, to know what you should say isn't a
Mhm.
guarantee that you're actually living the words that you talk.
Definitely not.
And so, there's lots of occasions whereby you're speaking to someone that is maybe academically very astute, but are
Yes.
they emotionally um, walking the words?
Mm.
Hey, are they
Yeah.
walking the talk, or are
Yeah.
they just paying lip service to it? And if they're
Yeah.
not genuinely living those words, and in my opinion, you genuinely do, then you're only bringing part of yourself to the party, aren't you?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you've got to be honest and say, look, I've got stuff I need to deal with,
Mm.
and I'm going to go away and I'm going to deal with it, and I'm going to
Mm.
sort it out.
And then you get the best of your sensitivity, don't you? Because you have that awareness of your vulnerabilities, or
Yeah.
what does create very strong emotions. And when that's all in your awareness, then your sensitivity is much more likely to be a real benefit and something that brings, a huge amount to your life. It's more when there's an awareness of different emotions, or things that have held us back from the past, that then that sensitivity can perhaps feel more of a burden as well.
Yeah. And I think,
Mm.
when you feel, um, it's not really the right way of saying it, I don't think, but when you feel that you're seen,
Yeah,
then you can be more, um, you can maybe be more confident in allowing yourself to be seen because other people are setting that example.
yeah.
And
Oh,
so,
so much easier.
I think if someone says to you, "Oh, Andy, I want you to be really sensitive and to be really open with what you need to say," and you kind of go,
Mm,
"Right, okay," and how exactly is that going to happen? Whereas if someone is open and honest with how that happens, and they relate maybe their own experiences, or to talk you through a process of quantifying how you feel,
mm,
then I think it just has a greater sense of authenticity. In my
yeah,
opinion, I kind of feel that I want the person that I'm speaking to kind of get where I'm coming from.
yeah.
I
Well,
don't,
you can feel it,
well, of
can't you?
course you can, as it, it's like your bullshit detector goes off and you go, you don't
Yeah,
know what you're on about.
yeah. And I think for a sensitive person, that's an immediate disconnect
Yeah.
when you don't feel seen, heard, received in the way that you're intending. I think that
Yeah.
can be a real challenge.
Because sometimes that sensitivity is you walk in a room, you just look at someone and
It's not going to work out.
it's not, they go, oh, no, that ain't going to work. You know, by the time they've even said their second name, you think, no, I'm not going to we're not going to get on. You just know
Yeah,
their energy touches yours,
yeah,
and immediately
yeah.
it's like you've just thrown
It's a
a
felt experience, isn't it?
you really do. And sometimes
Mm.
I know maybe some people might laugh at me saying that, but I literally can look at people and go, we aren't going to get on. And I'm not wrong. And
Yeah,
I won't do that in a judgmental way. I won't go
yeah,
into it and think, I don't want to get on.
yeah.
Energetically, they will speak to me before they open their mouth.
Well,
As I'll feel
that's
it.
how, that is often how sensitive people experience the world, and
Yeah.
it's understanding that that is a thing helps it get easier, rather than, I think for years I felt quite confused because I was conflicted between what somebody was telling me and what
Yeah.
I could actually feel. And I
Right.
think that's kind of what
That's
what
exactly what I'm
you're
saying.
what you're touching upon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And that's the value in, as we are aware of what's
Mm.
really going on in ourselves, then we are more likely to speak, the truth, aren't we? Rather
Yeah.
than there being these sort of, I don't know, hidden parts that then come out,
It's like,
perhaps in the least expected or suitable
because I
situations.
remember mother also said to me, she said, son, always trust your gut instinct. They
Yeah.
said that from when I was, way younger.
What a
And
wonderful
oh
mom.
yeah, she's good. She is good, bless her.
Yeah.
Hi, mammy. um, and forgot what I was going to say then. Oh yeah, but it comes down to their mouth is saying one thing and their energy is saying something different.
And that is so hard. And I think the more that you become comfortable in your sensitivity and aware, I think the harder it is to be in those kind of
Yeah,
relationships or situations,
they're very
because you
draining.
just absolutely.
Very draining. So our first session is going to be very soon on Sunday, the 30th of November.
Yeah, do join us.
Yes, do join us because it's going to be from 6:30 in the evening. Obviously, we're talking UK time here, till
Yeah.
7:15 thereabouts. So it's only 45 minutes, but we want to build up that sense of connection, community, let you know what we've got going on, go through some little gentle exercises, nothing too crazy or strenuous. The best bit, It's absolutely free. All
Yeah.
right. So if you go to a sanctuaryforthesoul.co.uk, there's a form on there. All you need to do is enter your email address.
Yeah.
It will then automatically send you a Zoom link and you can join us. All right.
Mhm.
There will be an option to sign up to like our mailing list so you can keep ahead of what's coming up, retreats and workshops and weekends and evening sessions and the sorts of work that myself and Liz do. But we'd love to see you. So we hope you've enjoyed this episode and you can also be confident in exploring your sensitivity. Last words over to you, Liz.
Yeah, well, I think sensitivity is a wonderful thing. And yeah, the more that you embrace it and the more that you're around people who also embrace it, the better it gets.
Absolutely. And on that note, it's goodbye from me.
See you soon.
Bye now.